special group of riding superstars. It's a free Facebook group that anyone who is awesome and wants to improve their riding and wants to take their riding to the next level and wants to be surrounded by awesome, brilliant people, head over to the Riding Success Superstars, Riding Superstars group. We need a button, Kate.
It's not going to go everywhere. I'll put it in the other two. We'll see how we go.
Yep. Riding Superstars is the group. We will make sure we have a button for tomorrow so I can put it in so you guys know what to search for. Firstly, I just want to acknowledge every single one of you for being awesome. Let me do that with my cool sound effect. Okay, I promise to not play with my sound effects every day. No, actually, I don't promise. I can't live up to that promise. I will play with my party sound effects every single day, and you guys can just love it. Thank you, Jamie. Hey, Tash, I love your content. I hope you like my sound effects as well. Hello. I'm glad our messages are working. Oh, very exciting. I'm getting a horse this year. Bring it on. Hello, Susan from Ohio. Very cool to have you on board. Tash is so happy she has sound effects. I am. It's the little things that make me happy. It is the little things. I really liked your Fearless Friday series. It helped me get through so much riding trouble. I love it, Isabella. Thank you, Kate. Kate has put the link to the Riding Superstars Facebook group. So wherever you're watching this, if you want to head over to the Riding Superstars group, that's where you will catch me live and make sure that you can see what's going on. So hello. Super to hear from all of you. Yeah, very, very excited. Today I'm going to be talking dressage. So let me play. Ask your questions around dressage. And I thought today, I was just going to talk in general, like why is it challenging to improve your dressage score? And firstly, I'd just like to ask you guys, what have you tried to improve your dressage score? So if you're, and if you're not a dressage rider and you don't care about dressage, maybe don't listen to this live. You're probably not going to find it that exciting. But if you are a dressage rider and you are interested in improving your dressage score, let's rock and roll and have a conversation. It would be very awesome. So, I love your OTTB series. Oh, I'm so glad. Yes, those horses are very fun. Very fun. Okay. So yeah, talk to me. What have you tried in the past to improve your dressage score? Is it something that you worry about? Is it something you fixate on? I know for me, I didn't care too much about the score. I was on an obsession to get to Grand Prix. So I was just, let me learn what I have to learn. And obviously, like, I had pretty low goals, 60, 65. Sure, I had a dream of 70 or 80, but I had no idea how to get 70 or 80. To me, it sounds awful, but, you know, I was looking for a 5 is, you know, you've just kind of done it, and 6 is, yeah, okay. So 5 is sufficient and 6 is satisfactory. Kind of the story of my life. And 7 is fairly good. And so if you get a 70% in a dressage test, it was a fairly good dressage test. And if you get an 8, it's a good dressage test. If you get a 9, like a 90%, it's a very good dressage test. And if you get 100%, you've got an excellent dressage test. So there's no one in the history of the world who's ever got 100%. Which tells you a little bit about, okay. And I've found it's actually quite easy to get a horse to Grand Prix and to get a horse to do it sufficiently or satisfactorily, which is between 50 and 60%. And I used to, you know, that's where I started, and then I could kind of get 60 to 65, and sure, get some 7s, but I also got some 5s and 6s that brought the average score down to, you know, somewhere in the 60s. So I've now been on a mission for the last 2 years, ever since I took my Frisian to Grand Prix, and the best score I could ever get out of him at Grand Prix was 62%. I went, okay, if I want to get to the Olympics and if I want to compete internationally and if I want to have a really cool dressage career, I am going to have to figure out how to consistently score 7, 8s and 9s. And that's been my mission and my plan for the last 2 years. And the new horse that I competed small tour with was then scoring between 68 and we got a 70%, which was pretty exciting. So it's working. So my first horse I took to Grand Prix got 62. Then my next horse to small tour I got 68 to 70. And that's, now I've got to figure out how to consistently get the 72, the 75s, and then I'll figure out about the 80s. We'll figure that out a bit later. But that's where I am. So I fixated more on the trick and getting the progress through the riding levels to get to Grand Prix, because that was my goal. And then I changed the goal from not just getting to Grand Prix, but doing the Grand Prix really well. So what is it for you guys? I've just had my first test last week. My boy is lazy in the trot. How do I get him to move more in the ring? Yeah, it happens a lot that they can suck back behind the legs sometimes, especially in the test. So it's really great to do some protocol days and to go to other people's houses and pretend it's a dressage test and see if the same thing happens. If it doesn't happen except in a competition, then it's most likely you. For me, it was. I would swear black and blue. It's my horse, it's my horse, it's my horse, it's my horse. But I went, hang on, how smart's my horse? Like, how does he know? Because he was forward outside the arena. So he's forward in the warm-up. He's forward outside the arena. And then he sucks back as I enter through those two tiny gates. No, my horse isn't that smart. It's something to do with me. I must get tight. And I was never nervous. So I went... it's not competition nerves. I'm not nervous. I'm so excited to perform. I'm so excited to be in the ring. But what was happening was I desperately wanted to do well and desperately wanted to have a good test and have a good ride. So because of that desperation, no one likes desperation in any area of your life. You just shouldn't be desperate. And my desperation was causing my legs to kind of clamp onto my horse a little bit. And my horse went, whoa, this feels different. So he kind of paused and I went, oh God, he's sucking me up behind the leg and he's not going where I want him. And I squeezed more and my horse went, this is weird and this isn't what she normally does. And we kind of fed off each other. So you've really got to make sure that you are you. And that was just a really cool gift for me. First live stream with you, newbie at riding, have yet to fall. Oh, so much to look forward to. Came close when my horse went to a tree and took out a tree. Well, what can I say? Falling is the risk that we take when we put our foot in the stirrup, and we are aware of the risk. We try to mitigate the risk, and we do our best. But it is a skill. Riding is a skill, and sometimes when the horse does something different, even if we're learning to trot or learning to canter, you can't learn it unless you do it. And sometimes that can make you bounce a little bit sideways, and maybe you lose your balance and maybe you fall off, or maybe the horse does something crazy and you fall off, but that's just part of it. And if you're older, that's what heat packs are for, and you just keep going. Okay. My daughter reads the comment where the score is low and then tries to work on the suggestions to better the score. Good strategy. I finally bitten the bullet and bought myself a horse to enjoy the journey on. Excited and scared all at the same time. I love it, Anna. I love that you're sharing that with your daughter. Okay. Hello, Caroline. I have a bad habit that when I'm in a canter, my arms are like chicken wings. Yep. You just need to, it's so good that you're aware that your arms are like chicken wings. So now you need to take that awareness to the next level and go, I will feel the sides of my flanks, the sides of my tummy. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just rubbing my elbows next to my sides. And I'm just going to feel that the whole time. So if your elbows have done that, you can't feel them. So you just need to give that awareness going, okay, I'm going to canter, feel my elbows to sides, elbows to sides, elbows to sides. And that's what you focus on until that neural link has gotten stronger, that your body will keep your elbows to your sides because it knows that that's what you want it to do. But if you only tell it once, elbows to sides, and then you're like, am I on the correct lead? And is the canter too fast? And what else should I be doing with my shoulders? And what else should I be doing with my hands? And maybe he should be rounder. And you're doing all these other things, then your elbows are going to go do their own thing. So work on one problem at one time. Get the neural pathways sorted to do that change, and then work on the next one. How did you choose your dressage horses? I'm smiling because probably a lot of you know how I chose my dressage horses. It's black. I'll buy it. Please don't do that strategy. But I kind of did a little bit. Definitely that's why I got into Frisians. They were black war horses, fairy tale horses that could take me away and make my life perfect. And they're a fairy tale. So I am obsessed with Frisians just as much as I was when I was young. So I turned my fantasy horse and my favorite horse in the world into a dressage horse. And I'm still trying to do that. But I also, it's hilarious. I actually have 2 chestnuts at the moment. 2 chestnut horses that are, they're great dressage horses, but they're not black. So, how do you do it? You listen to you think about your goals. So for me, my first goal was I wanted to ride dressage on a horse that I, just adored. I wanted to ride. I had a dream. I was going to take a Frisian to Grand Prix. I now have a dream to take a Frisian to the Olympics. That doesn't change. That's it. But then I also have a dream to score 72%, 75%, 78%, 80%, 82%, 85%, 88%, 90%, 92%, 95%, 98%, 100%. I have these goals. So then I look at, will the Frisian get 100%? And I have to say no. And then I go, okay, well, what's a horse that maybe could? My passion too, love my Frisian. Love it. Okay. Oops, sorry. My mouse is going a bit cuckoo. I've ridden since I was young, but now a lot older. Why do I suddenly fear to canter as I own a fjord? Oh, I'm trying to teach to canter. So Brenda, this might be your first live. If you want to check out a live I did 2 days ago, I did a live completely on fear, and that might be able to help you. Tips for looking for my first dressage horse. I've ridden my whole life, but now getting into dressage. Yeah, Carrie, it depends on your goals. Like if you want to go to the Olympics and get a gold medal, that's a different dressage horse to your first dressage horse. What do you want to do? Like, do you want like if you invest in a schoolmaster, that might mean that you're piaffing when you're trying to walk. It might mean you go down a center line and your horse does one-time changes when you just want it to canter a straight line. Or you might go, that sounds fun. I want it to just do things that I don't even know what I'm telling it to do. Or you might want a young horse because you're experienced with young horses and you want to put the buttons in yourself. So I can't answer that question, Carrie, because I'm not you. You should really think about what your goals are and what you want to do with your riding, and then ask for help. Ask for a rider or a coach or a trainer to suggest, based on your goals, what horse you should be looking for. It's always that's the biggest question. It's not, my friend down the road bought that horse, so I bought a horse that could XYZ, so I should buy a horse that could XYZ. Depends on your goals. Okay. How can you help with a lazy horse who's a little stiff on the right lead? Hang on. Me with lefts and rights, and then I don't know if I'm mirror to you, so then it looks even worse. Left, right. This is my right hand. Any good tips to keep going and motivated to work? Yeah, I mean, with the lazy horse, they have to learn to go in front of the leg. They have to learn to go forward. So with a lazy horse, your legs are off. With a hot horse, your legs are on. So make sure that you're not enabling. Lazy horses tend to teach riders to become enablers, which means we kick every single stride just to keep them going. You have to stop doing that. You take your legs off. If they slow down or stop, you come with the legs, maybe a whip saying go, and then your legs come off again. And if they suck back, you say go again until you can keep everything off and they are keeping the trot or the canter or the walk or whatever it is that you're asking. But they're very good trainers. They do train you to be enablers, and they're quite happy for you to kick them every stride. Why, I have no idea. But yeah, they prefer you to kick them to keep them trotting than just to trot on their own. But it's a training thing, so you've got to be really, really strict in your training. Can you turn a barrel horse into a dressage horse? I think I'm a universal optimist, so I think you can do anything. I thought I could take a Frisian to Grand Prix. I still think I can take a Frisian to the Olympics. So yes, could you turn a barrel horse into a dressage horse? Absolutely, why not? They'd probably be really good at the Canapiro. I don't know anything about barrel racing. I know you go around barrels. I assume you go around the barrels really fast, which means probably the hind legs not under, which is what a normal canna pirouette is, because the canna pirouette is a very slow lifting motion, which would probably take too much time. But yeah, you can retrain a horse. I'm retraining a thoroughbred, a horse that is bred and trained to gallop, and I'm training it to sit on its hind leg and turn into a dressage horse. So fun and games. What should be the strategy to get your horse on the bit? So the very first thing with getting your horse on the bit is it's a connection from the back to the front. And getting a horse on the bit is actually it's a consequence from having the back where you want it. So you want the horse's back to lift and the hind leg to come under, and that just means then the neck kind of goes in the position that you want it. And you can obviously ask the neck to go into different positions. You can ask for it to go really deep, you can ask for it to go really low, you can ask for it to go very high with the pole at the highest point, which is the place that you put it when you're competing. But when I was learning dressage, I went, okay, get the horse on the bit. I know it's got to tuck in its head. I know it's got to put its head down. And so I just fixated on the neck. And I've told this story before. I used to put some apple on the end of a whip and hold it there so the horse would arch its neck and then take a photo. So I could be like, look, my horse has this really round, beautiful neck. But there was an apple doing that. So, yeah, I clearly did not understand the whole connection piece. So when you say, what's the first step to getting the horse on the bit, I go, well, the first step to getting the neck, how you want it and where you want it, actually has nothing to do with the neck at all. It's got to do with we've got to get the hind leg active. So that's the first thing. We've got to be going forward. We've got to get the hind leg active, and we have to have the motor revving. So if you think about a speedboat, the more you rev that engine and put in power into the speedboat, not that I'm a boating person, but the more the motor, like the bottom of the boat goes down into the water, and the more the top of the boat lifts. That's what you're talking about with a dressage horse. You want the shoulders to lift and everything on the front half of the horse to be up and soft and light. And this engine, this vroom, 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 revving engine, I don't have a rev sound effect, that creates all the power and gets that lift to happen. So that's what you're thinking about. So yeah, that's my first step of the strategy, going forward and activating the hind leg. Sometimes I struggle during exercises because every lesson I have a new horse because I don't own one. How do I improve when I have a different horse every time? Every horse has different challenges and different things, but you will still be working on the same stuff. So whether I ride the Frisian or the Grand Prix Warm Blood or the 4-year-old Warm Blood or the 6-year-old off the track thoroughbred, it's the same thing, even though they present in very different ways. I'm thinking, okay, have I got my engine revved? Can I rev my engine? Do I have a reaction to my leg? Do I have a reaction to my seat? Do I have a way to move their body from like left suppleness to right suppleness? Do I have my inside leg to outside rein? Do I have shoulder control? Do I have, what's my body doing? Am I looking up? Are my shoulders back? Is my seat on? Are my legs long? Am I doing everything that I need to be doing? So as I said, it doesn't matter what I'm riding. There's a million things running through my head going, what am I doing and how are the things? Obviously, when I'm on like one of the thoroughbreds, it's a lot more horse because there's nothing there. I'm like, okay, can I go? Can I stop? Can I turn? Can I move the shoulder? Can I get some suppleness? The answers to pretty much all of those things are no. So I'm working on training those buttons in. When I'm riding like the Grand Prix horse, all those buttons are totally there. So I'm just making tiny little adjustments going, I think you're a little bit blocked to the left. Oh, I think you need a little bit more to the right. I think you could react just that little bit better to my leg. But then I also have a lot more time to go, okay, and how is what I'm doing influencing you? And how can I sit taller and straighter and stiller and more connected and more into you? If that helps. So it doesn't matter what horse, if you're riding an easy horse, in your lessons, then you get to work on you. If you're riding a challenging horse, you get to learn on your basics, on your foundations. So it's really, really important when you're riding dressage that you have a system that you follow. As I said, it doesn't matter what horse I'm on. I have a checklist. I have a checklist of, do you go? Do you stop? Do you turn? That's like, you know, when you get in a car, does the accelerator work? Does the brake work? Does the steering wheel work? And sometimes you don't have power steering. Sometimes you've got to activate the gears to get the accelerator working a lot. Like if you're in first gear and you're accelerating, you're not going to go very fast, are you? You've got to get into some of the higher gears. Sometimes your brakes don't work. So they're all the first things that I'm training. And then once I have the very basics, a steering wheel, an accelerator, and a brake, then I'm looking for more subtleties of, do I have... can I get the horse really round? Can I get it through? Can I get the back to lift more? Can I get the hind leg to come more under? Can I get more suppleness and sideways movement from left to right? Can I go left? Can I go right? All those kinds of things. And then I've got my body checklist as well. So I really want you guys to think about if you have a checklist and if you've got a plan when you ride of what needs to be improved, because every time we sit on a horse something needs to be improved. But when I was learning, I was completely dissociated from what I should be working on, and I was only really focusing and fixated on have I walked? Yep. Have I trotted? Yep. Have I done a 20-meter circle? Yep. Have I cantered? Yep. Have I done a trot canter transition? Yep. Should I try a half pass? Yep. I was just focusing on those things, which you have to as well. You have to know your test. You have to go, okay, if I'm currently in prelim and I want to be a novice, I have to learn a leg yield. I have to learn extended trot or lengthening trot. I have to learn a 15-meter circle. So I just read my test of the next level that I wanted to compete at, and I just started practicing those things. So I just want to make sure that you guys know what you're doing and that you have a system and a foundation in place. So if you guys need any help with that, Dressage Mastery is the course that I've created to help you with that. I don't know if we've got anyone on the line who is a Dressage Mastery member. Message if you do, just so you can tell everyone what it's like. But basically, it's a system I've created that gives you all those answers. There's troubleshooting guides, there's training plans, there's audio lessons, there's videos of me doing it, videos of me teaching, videos of me doing it on an inexperienced horse, so you can just get to where you want to go. I love it, Tamber. You said you follow the training pyramid. Yes, and I'll be doing a training for you guys tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to be coming on and showing you the German training scale, which is the German training pyramid, and also showing you the scale that I've partnered with it, which is the Rider Success Scale. So can't wait to give you more education around that as well. Noelle, I'm a member. That's great. And Tamber, I think I am. Beautiful. I am beautiful. So yes, if any of you guys would like to know more about Dressage Mastery, I am offering a 50% discount only for the next couple of hours for anyone that wants to chat after this. So if you want to come and have a chat with me over on Messenger, I think I click this. Yep. Go over to... Can I drag that? Yes, I can. Okay, go over to your Riding Success page and click send message and send me the message Dressage Superstar, and I can have a chat to you about where you're at in your dressage, what you're looking to achieve, and if it's a good fit, I'll suggest Dressage Mastery, and I'm happy to do it for 50% off today because that would be very fun for you. Been a member for 6 months now and love it. I love it. Dressage Mastery, brilliant. Recommend to all riders at all levels. Thank you. Here, Christy. Awesome. You guys are great. I love supporting you in your dressage journey. So, yeah, tune in tomorrow. I should know when I'm going live tomorrow, but I can't remember. I think it's going to be this time. Yes, it's going to be this time. So I'm actually going to do that training. So if you want to know more about the German training scale and the Rider Success Scale, come along to that training. And if you'd like to know more about Dressage Mastery now and take advantage of 50% off, message Dressage Superstar and I'd be happy to help. So love hanging out with you guys. Love seeing you. I do want to champion you guys all again. Remember, you are all riding superstars and I think you're all amazing and I'm so proud of every single one of you. So let's... I I love it. When I heard it, I said, can that just follow me around? It's like, Tash went to the gym. Yeah, you can do it. Tash, brushed her teeth. Yeah, you're a champion. I'm like, yes, I just need this, just random applause for anything I do, like brushing my teeth or anything. I think it's really fun. So yeah, love you guys heaps. Love to support you in the Dressage Mastery program, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for our dressage training.